Hello, people of the internet. My name's Isaiah.
And my name's Matt.
And welcome back to drumroll, please. The Mildly Ignorant Podcast, episode 12.
Woo!
Woo!
Most disappointing drum roll of all time.
Yes.
You got me off guard. I wasn't ready.
Come on, Matt. You have to always be on your A game for this podcast.
On my toes.
On your toes, ready to go, ready to roll. Like we are every week at the Mildly Ignorant Podcast. We totally didn't come up with topics 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
We are fully ready, prepared to talk about everything and anything.
Preferably
the world.
anything.
Yeah. Thank you everyone for tuning in last week
Yeah.
for episode 11. Hopefully we didn't trigger any people talking about NFTs.
Ooh, yeah, that was fun.
That community is a bit, a bit unique.
I don't know.
you
I think the nifty community is like pretty cool.
The nifty community.
Yeah, the nifty.
The nifty.
They're all right.
The F in NFT stands for free.
Yeah. It stands for now free to right click and save.
They removed a few extra letters at the end there just to make it shorter, you know.
Too expensive.
Too expensive to make it NFT CP.
Yeah. Just doesn't roll off the tongue either.
Now free to copy paste.
Perfect.
But yeah, Matt, I thought it would be a good idea to revisit a few topics we brought up on the podcast in previous episodes.
Wait, we talked about things? You'll have to remind me because I don't remember any of it.
Okay. Well,
I'm just kidding.
I can try and remind you.
Okay.
We'll start off with a bit older topic. This was all the way
Sure.
back in episode 2, Matt.
Yeah.
Episode 2. Do you remember that?
No. Yeah.
That was our that was our episode with our special guest, Liz, our podcast artist.
Yeah.
And we talked like for an hour and 45 minutes about Activision Blizzard and how much of a piece of shit company it was.
That was still the longest episode, right?
Yeah, we never had a longer episode than that. An hour 40, yeah.
We looked at it and we were like, yeah, that's too much. Cut that back.
Yeah. We don't want to, an hour 45 is probably shit for our retention time and stuff like that. So
probably a bad idea for the second episode too.
Yeah, I mean, probably killed our initial growth.
I mean, it's funny that now though, because like I have people messaging me saying like, hey, I listened to like your most recent episode, and like the brainworm inside my head is like, start from the beginning. But then at the same time, like, I guess that's not how things work around here. Like, just
literally, I'm the opposite, man. I tell everyone to start with like episode like 3 or 4 because I believe we like 3
we're only
and
getting
4.
better. Like at this point, we're seasoned vets.
But 3 and 4 though are the cream of the crop. Like still to this day, I still believe episode 3 and 4 were like our, like, at least more the funniest ones, more entertaining.
Yeah,
depends what people want, I guess, with this podcast.
True.
If you're expecting like well thought out arguments and shit like that, probably not the good place to come here.
I mean, if they know, you're fairly well thought out. This is what I like about our dynamic is like, you are very grounded. You're like, your feet are on the ground. Me, my fucking head's in the clouds. Like, I'm thinking about like boiled eggs. I don't even like eggs. Like, my head's just out there all the time.
Wiener.
That too, especially that. But no, I mean, like, you are very grounded in like reality and just like, see, I'm losing focus just thinking about this.
Wow, Matt, you're so flattering. Thank you. Thank you for calling me grounded.
But then I'm like, hard to focus. I'm lackadaisical. Ooh, that's a nice big word.
Wow. I don't even know what that means, Matt.
Ha.
I'm kidding. I know what that means. Anyways, yeah. Activision Blizzard. There's been more updates in this shit show of a company. Not good in any way, shape, or form. Basically amplifying the issues that they've already had.
Yeah.
Basically, most of it has to do with their CEO, Mr. Bobby Kotick. Even the name pisses me off. But anyways, Mr. Bobby came out and basically admitted to the fact that he not only knew everything that was happening in the company all this time,
Yeah.
and they didn't do anything to stop it, he was actively participating in the activities and events that were taking place in the company. For those who don't remember, Activision Blizzard got a bunch of lawsuits for being basically hiring just sexual predators, it seems like, in their company. There's a bunch of hazing and a bunch of sexual assault.
And a
female
frat
coworkers
boy culture.
Female coworkers were committing suicide because their nudes were getting sent around the office.
And they were being like threatened to like lose their job and
they're spying on women breastfeeding in the breastfeeding room, shit like that. Just overall a shit show. And yeah, Bobby Kotick straight up came out and he's like, yeah, fuck you. I actually participated in that too. Eat my ass. We did nothing wrong, basically.
I remember when we were talking about it before we decided to talk about it on the podcast. It was like I said it was basically like gaslighting literally everybody. It's like they came out with a statement. Like they walked out of a burning building and they were like, now it may seem like we are in a burning building, but it's not. Meanwhile, everybody is just staring at the building while it's on fire.
You're confusing a few facts there, Matt. He didn't make the statement. That was the board of the directors that came out, which is also something I forgot to say. Bobby Kotick hid this from the board of directors. All this hazing and stuff like that. He would pretend like nothing was happening. So you'd think the board of the directors would be mad, but no. The board of the directors literally came out with a statement saying, no, we support Bobby Kotick and the company and blah, 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 blah. Basically a big fuck you to everyone again. And now, that's basically your analogy there. Basically, the whole company's on fire, and the board of directors is coming out and saying, "Nah, everything's fine. Don't worry about it. Chill out, relax. It's good. We're vibing." Take one look at their stock, and I can tell you otherwise that they're not doing too hot right now.
Yeah,
literally crashed almost $5. The stock crashed in the last. Oh, that's in one day. Never mind. Sorry. Oof. In the last month, it crashed. Yeah, $20. Never mind.
Jesus.
In the last month, $20 crash. So yeah, tell me again how Activision Blizzard's doing well, Bobby Kotick. So they're kind of digging their hole more and more. It seems like there's kind of like a boycott movement starting, at least with the other companies. Farting? What?
I said starting?
Yeah, starting. Yeah.
Like there wasn't already when this all came out the first time?
No, probably not. All three major console companies like Sony, Xbox, Nintendo all came out and announced. Bobby Kotick said, fuck you. We're not going to do business with you, basically. People are asking for Bobby Kotick's head on a silver platter. There's been like, not protests, but like walkouts of the company and stuff like that. So
things are bad when like Nintendo gets involved, because like they're just like in Japan, they're sitting there doing their thing. Doug Bowser's here in America trying to capture Mario or whatever, and like
you would
they just
Nintendo would be so behind on this news that you would expect them to release a statement in like 2023
like 3 years
talking about it.
But then they come out with a new console that has literally everyone in a vice grip hold.
Basically I'm trying to see what upcoming games they have, because clearly this is gonna have a huge hit on like their production. Diablo 4 and Overwatch 2 got delayed to an
I mean, you and I have also talked about how like the video game industry as a whole, it just seems like it's pretty fucked up. And like,
the industry is a piece of shit. Like it's the only active industry where like the businesses and the companies can actively shit in the customers' faces and the customers will eat it up.
Yeah,
literally the only entertainment industry that does that.
I straight up saw a post on Tumblr and it was like, would you buy music from an artist where like it's just like missing a vocal track? Or like, would you?
That's not mixed, properly,
or like, would you like buy a movie and then just expect for like 45 minutes of scenes to be added in like later on? I don't understand. And like, this is a separate issue from like what's going on at Activision Blizzard, don't get me wrong, but like this makes me think that like, are these same conditions, maybe not to the extreme, like maybe not to the like the extent of like the misogyny and like the frat culture that's going on that was like found at Activision Blizzard, but like maybe the issue is that some of these conditions are also at different industries, and like maybe that's why a lot of this shit is going on. Maybe it's not. I don't know any better. Like, I'm not in the gaming industry, and
overall, like the whole gaming industry as a whole is a piece of shit. Like,
no, I know.
People have like documented how like when it comes to crunch time, like close to release, people sleep at their desks. Like they don't go home because they have to work so much. And I mean that's like in entertainment industry as a whole. Like, because even Liz, when she was on the show, she talked about how like you have deadlines and you have to make it done by the deadline regardless if it's ready or not. You know, and that's amplified in the gaming industry because clearly they don't release games that are ready.
But like I don't understand. Like you said. Why is it the only industry this is acceptable? And
it's because people are stupid and they buy the games anyways, you know?
Yeah,
like,
no, you're right.
If we'd stop buying these stupid pieces of shit games that aren't done, it would not happen.
A lot of it, too, is I think, like, you and I are, like, mature adults and recognize the gaming industry, but, like, how much of the gaming industry is straight up just marketed to kids where their parents are kind of ignorant to what goes on? They're just like, video games. Like, they couldn't tell you the difference between like a Nintendo or an Xbox, right? So like they buy these games and these kids don't care. They eat that shit up. Like the new Pokemon games were and Sword and Shield, which were like bare bones and like.
You're right. That's what they're trying to appeal to, because all the games are getting more and more casualized, if that makes sense. Like take Pokemon, they took out a bunch of like not mechanics, but like systems and stuff like that from Pokemon to make it simpler. Yeah. The new Battlefields and Call of Duties, they've got actually rid of like certain leaderboards and stuff like that to make it as casual as possible, because that's what they're trying to appeal to.
And like, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with like casual gamers and people who like casual games, but like it's
release
just
a properly functioning game, please.
Exactly. It's coming down to the point where like these games aren't finished. Like, you can't just remove features straight up.
Because like I saw, like the two biggest examples that I can think off in my head, Battlefield came out. That's a piece of shit, but it's not like a absolute broken piece of shit. If that makes sense. Like, it's still playable. Yeah. Call of Duty Vanguard came out. That's a horribly broken game. Like, the online multiplayer is absolutely destroyed because the shotguns are like one shot kill in the game, so you can literally cap people from across the map with the shotguns. And then somehow, some way, I don't know if you heard about this, like the GTA remasters that came out.
Oh god, yeah, this is
the GTA 3 and 4 remasters came out, and they're somehow worse than the original versions. They're somehow worse.
What I've heard is, like, I think it was the San Andreas remake specifically, or remaster specifically, was like, it was the version of the game was based on a phone port.
Yeah, the company they hired to do the remasters were the phone port company.
So basically, it was straight up an older version of the game that like had source code. It had like, I don't know if you remember hearing about like the hot coffee mod and all that shit, but like all of this shit was still included in the game. It turned off, like it wasn't accessible in the game, but like it was accessible in the game files. So anybody who could like crack their way into the game and see like the files could see that like all of this was still here. So another thing, the new, I think it's Diamond and Pearl remakes for Pokemon, bringing up Pokemon again. The games leaked early, so like it wasn't the official release, but basically there were like music tracks that weren't complete that were expected to be patched in like on a day one update, and it just goes to show that like games are being released like not even finished, like not even completely done, and like
this is surprising, like coming from a company like Rockstar that's known for their quality.
Oh yeah,
like why would you hire a mobile game company to remaster a game that's on console? You know, like they're completely out of their wheelhouse. And I was seeing videos of it online. Like, it's terrible. Like, they remastered the graphics to make it look worse somehow.
Yeah.
Like, I saw a video where the rain effects literally like fall on your screen. So like when you move, the rain does not move with you. it's kind of hard to explain, but like it gives you like a huge headache because it's not natural, right?
Yeah.
Like the way they've remastered this game is terrible, and there's so many glitches. Like apparently, if you go to like vending machines, the game just crashes. You know, stuff like that.
I heard something like that. It was like somebody, I think it was the pool mini game. Like they went to play pool and it crashed the game and deleted the save file. Like, what? How are these things not? I mean, obviously they're not getting play tested. They're not getting like fixed as soon as they pop up. I'm like, don't get me wrong, making a game is by no means easy, but it's kind of a shame because I know a couple people who like wanted to get into game dev, and like from an outside point of view, it's like that would be a dream job. Like imagine spending your life doing something you love, like working on video games, but then just like knowing that you are working for a shit industry where you're going to get treated like shit, expected to release like unfinished product. Like that reflects poorly on you, and it reflects like it like takes away from that lifestyle. But hey, like you're making video games, right?
Yeah, and it's stupid too because like take Battlefield for example. It's not that big of a fix because they fixed a bunch of things that were wrong from the beta, right? And the full version came out not even a month later, so it's not like it needs major fixes. So like,
yeah,
would it really hurt the company's bottom dollar if they released the fucking game like 3 or 4 months later than what they actually planned it to be out? Like, would it really hurt anything at the end of the day? No.
That's just it. I don't understand why there's so much pressure to release these games, and
then
they
these
come
arbitrary
out,
deadlines,
and then they get fucking rightfully so blasted by like reviewers and critics and all this shit. Like, I mean, look what happened with Cyberpunk.
Yeah,
like
that was a piece of shit game. Yeah.
I mean, that game was it was like announced like 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah,
and like just come out and say like, yeah, this ain't happening for a while, because I would much rather play an actually finished game than like stop my little anticipation of like 3 to 5 years for a shit game that doesn't even work.
Yeah, and like I shouldn't get my hopes up because it is Bethesda, so Todd Howard.
Yeah.
Is it Todd Howard? Yeah. Like for example, like people have been waiting for years and years and years and years for this Elder Scrolls 6 to come out there. You know, the next Skyrim.
Yep.
And he said himself like it's been pushed back and back and back and back because they're. I mean, I'm sure they're still pushing them to work on it like crazy, but like,
yeah,
at least they're hoping to release a decent game from what I've gathered. I mean, now the deadline, like the release date is supposed to be in 2024 sometime, but like, you know, it doesn't like I just don't understand why they have these arbitrary deadlines for. It makes no sense. Just release a proper game, and like,
exactly.
Yeah, at the end of the day, they don't really give a shit whether the quality is good or not, because people are still gonna buy it, and that's the issue. People are still gonna buy the piece of shit game. They're still gonna make the same amount of money than if they release a proper working game. So why would they release a proper working?
No,
game?
they're gonna make even more, because then they're gonna release DLC for a game, and like the DLC is gonna patch it. And like the DLC is gonna like add in features that should have been in the main game. But like I could literally go on for days about like DLC and how it's done so poorly, and how like.
Can we talk about sorry to cut you off, but like
no.
You're reminding me of like patching and DLCs. Like what happened to? I know it's because like disk capacity, the game's getting too big for that shit. Like now, but like. I hate this new style of every game has to be downloaded onto your device. Like, like a console literally has like 200 gigs of space, and your Call of Duty comes out as 150 gigs. Okay, cool. I literally only have one game on my console now.
Yeah,
it's the stupidest thing in the world.
It's also really fucked up when it comes to ownership. Because I remember back in the day, like you could go and like you could go to. I'm gonna date myself. Like you could go to Blockbuster and you could like rent a game for the weekend, but like you can't do that anymore. You've got to like even if you buy a game that is still on disc, you have to download it. Like what? And then you can't just like have it for 2 days. Like you can't. Can you even rent games anymore? I don't think that's a thing.
No, you can't. No.
So
like at least if they're gonna freaking make us download the games, at least give us more space. It's not like it's hard to stick more storage on a fucking console. That's the easiest thing to do. Why they only give us 200 gigs when the average game is like 100 gigs nowadays is ridiculous.
The whole industry's fucked.
And the stupid thing too is that those games aren't even realistically that big. Because I remember, what's before Call of Duty Vanguard? The newest one is the Modern Warfare, I think. Yeah, something like that. Advanced Warfare. I don't know. The last Call of Duty before Vanguard, they were literally people were bitching about the size. Do you know what Call of Duty did? They literally released an update saying, "Oh yeah, sorry about that," and they slashed off 40 gigs.
What?
Just like that. They slashed off 40 gigs off of their game size. So that shows you how much useless file size they have in there.
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh yeah, sorry. Here's a patch," and they dropped the file size to like 80 gigs instead of 120 gigs.
I mean, I can't comprehend.
Like, do they purposely throw in filler? So like you.
Oh, probably. So you can only have one game on your
console? It's a good tactic.
Like,
yeah, it's a good tactic. It forces you to play that game for as long as possible because the average people don't have a good enough internet to download a 100 gig game in like under 2 hours, right?
Yeah.
It takes you all day to download a game that's that size on average internet. So.
Yeah, I know. Like Destiny 2, they ended up. I don't want to say cutting a bunch of content from their game, but what did they call it? They call it sunsetting, where they basically they took the kind of less new, less popular content, and they're like, we're gonna vault this content for now. We might bring it back in future years. And like, is that something that we should expect as gamers? Like, if you're playing like a big kind of, I guess, like MMO game or like a big RPG or something like that. Like, imagine you just suddenly can't go to like a certain part of the I don't know. I have qualms with that. Like, as a gamer, like I get it from a technical standpoint because I think Destiny was like 120 gigs or something, and it was just like ridiculous. But like, is that the answer? Like, is that what we're gonna do from now on? Is like, oh, hey, there's this really cool raid that I used to love, but now I can't play it because the company decided, like, oh, it's not popular enough, so we're going to sunset it. Like,
yeah, exactly. And that comes up, that kind of goes back to the idea of, like, DLCs and expansion packs are starting to become a thing of the past. Like, everyone's embracing that Fortnite model where everything has to be a fucking season nowadays because that maximizes their amount of revenue because people are going to eat that shit up like hotcakes instead of buying an expansion or a DLC pack that gives you it's infinitely more content. So I don't know why people are abandoning this idea, but...
Well, it's the perfect answer because like everybody was outraged when it came to like loot boxes and like loot box content, right? But like, if we change the business model, so now we're spoon feeding you content that you have to pay for monthly, like what are you going to do now? Like, you have no choice if you want to play the most recent game or if you want to like be the best and have like the best items or gear or whatever, you have to play the most recent season. But like, on one hand, it's like, hey, when I buy a game, it's like, you have to kind of be conscious now of not only like the game you want to play, but like, do you support the company enough? Like, that's why buying indie games is so important, because it's like, somebody put like a lot of work into this and they're not like a huge developer, right? So they can't just like have ads everywhere and like this stuff costs them their livelihood and their time. Like, this is their job. They put their like 12-13 hour days into making these games, and then they really don't have anything to show for it. Whereas you have companies like Rockstar or Activision Blizzard who can kind of just like half-ass a game and put it out, and then people will just eat that shit up. So you kind of have to think now, like, do I support not only like, do I want to play this game, but do I support the company? Am I putting my money to something that I feel like they deserve it? And like, that's just another fucked up thing about the gaming industry, because like, there's a debate as to whether or not like games are like art or not, right? Like, if you buy if you buy music, you're supporting that artist. Or if you, I mean, who buys art? But if you buy like images and stuff, like pictures or paintings, you're supporting that artist. But it's the same thing with video games, and it's like, I don't want to support like games where I know people aren't getting treated well. Like, I'm becoming more and more conscious of like the back end of things, where I'm more likely to buy 3 or 4 indie games now than I am to buy a big AAA game, because I know that not only are they going to gouge me for my money and just like lock me into this subscription feature where if I want to keep playing or if I want to keep excelling in the game, I'm going to have to keep dishing cash out. But also that like I know the people are kind of getting the compensation for the work they put into it. Because you and I have talked about games that we want to play all the time, and I don't want to like name any names or fuck it, maybe we will. But like I would much rather, like I said, buy 3 or 4 indie games than pay $80, $90, $100 for a new fucking game that came out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's ridiculous. The thing you mentioned about ads, that kind of reminds me too, as another thing that I was like, my jaw hit the ground when I saw that. Like, I would be livid. I saw that in my games. I don't know if we talked about this in the podcast, but like the sports games have started doing this. Like, you know, all the 2K series games that come out like every freaking year for every sport.
Yep.
NBA last year, when they released their game, a real ad would play in between rounds and like in between periods of the sport. Like real ads.
That's
you're paying 80
that's
games,
dirty.
$80 to get a fucking game, and you have to watch ads as your loading screen between plays and stuff like that.
That feels fucking disgusting. Like my skin, like that makes my fucking skin crawl. Like I want to see whoever pitched that idea, and I want to fucking punch them in the jaw. That's fucking infuriating me because like I hate ads. I don't watch TV because commercials piss me off, among other things. But like if I see an ad, I get viciously upset to the point where like I will go out of my way. Like if I see a product being advertised, especially in like an annoying way, and like I know that's how marketing works, but like I will go out of my way to no longer use or associate with that product. Like that's just how much like ads piss me off because
I get ads when it's like a free service. Like obviously they have to sustain that free service, but like when you're paying $80 full price for a game, like Jesus Christ, you don't need ads in the game. Like come on, you got your money already, buddy.
That's like listening to a fucking album, like a song, and then in between songs they'll throw in like an ad for something. Like I mean, I know that's kind of how it is with like unpaid Spotify, right?
But yeah, exactly. Like, but at least they don't give you ads when you pay for Spotify.
Yeah,
know?
Exactly. Or like if you buy an album from an artist, like Adele's like album just came out. Imagine you're listening to 2 or 3 tracks of her like I don't want to say screaming and crying, but like she's singing about her life and like her hardships, and like it's a work of art, and like this is how you're spending your time, and all of a sudden you get a fucking ad for like Kit Kat or something.
Coca-Cola.
Like, I would lose my fucking mind. I would actually go berserk. I'd enter my Joker phase.
Matt's like every day gets one step closer to the Joker phase.
There's just so many things where it's like, how can we take advantage of people? And it's like advertising and marketing is one of those things, like especially with like ads on the internet. Like I remember the fucking internet was designed for like, I remember when Google never had ads or anything like that. Like, and now you can't fucking Google anything without the first like 5 or 6 results being fucking ad pages. And like, I get it. Like money has to come from somewhere, but at the same time, like it's manipulative and it's fucking conniving. And it's like, how the fuck are we expected to live in this kind of society where like we're constantly like getting like pulled and like left and right in our
You're going full so Joker upset. There, Matt. You're going full Joker.
I'm actually legitimately upset.
How can we live in a society where there's ads in my video games?
If I was playing a fucking game and then like there was a commercial, like a 15, like it's bad enough that it happens on fucking YouTube in between videos or like when a video starts, but like if I was in the middle of doing something and an ad happened, I would probably throw my fucking controller at the TV.
Matt, I think that's one of Matt's pet peeves right there.
It just pisses me off. Yeah.
Matty boy doesn't like being brainwashed by capitalism.
They don't even do a good job too.
Yeah, it never works. I've never bought anything from an ad. Never.
No, it's just like like I said, and they go, if they were honest, right? If they were just like honest about their product or honest about like where their money comes from, but it's always like the fucking mega corporations that already like they have no problem making money and they're just doing it to like, I don't know, it almost feels like taking someone else's time, right? Like I don't need to buy chocolate bar because the chocolate bar company fucking has all the money in the world.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's stupid. Yeah. Wow. What a tangent, Matt.
I'm all
what a tangent.
riled up. I'm sorry.
All riled up. Matt's gone sicko mode. Which actually, that's a good transition, Matt. We also wanted to update you guys on our favorite rapper, Travis Scott, and his whole ordeal after he went sicko mode at Astroworld. Yeah. So Astroworld, for those who forget, is the big concert that Travis Scott threw that like 300 people got injured, 8 people died, and like 50 people went to cardiac arrest. Well, now him and Drake, because Drake also apparently was at this concert. He like did a few songs, like as an opening act, I think, or something.
Oh, okay.
I have no idea. Apparently, anyways, the total lawsuits right now are over $1 billion for Travis Scott and Drake.
As they fucking should be. I wonder how much are gonna get thrown out though.
Yeah, we'll see how much actually get thrown out or get what's the word? Like settled outside of court. Like
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh wait, no, never mind. New update. $2 billion now. We're past the $2 billion. There's 282 plaintiffs. And also today, like I was telling Matt before the podcast, now there's security guards that are in on the lawsuits.
As they should be.
Mental and physical damage, yeah, because, you know.
They didn't fucking sign up for that. Like, I get it.
They didn't sign up for a war zone where you have to do CPR
exactly.
on 50 different people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the deaths are up to 10, actually, not 8 people now. Yeah, 10.
Jesus.
Yeah, they're asking for $2 billion in damages. Basically trying to send a message to all performers, event organizers, and promoters that what happened at Astroworld cannot and should not happen ever again.
Obviously, shouldn't have ever happened.
Oh, and this is a weird one too that I didn't get. Apple is in on this lawsuit, by the way. People are suing Apple.
Why?
They're accusing the company of compromising concert-goer safety through its multi-million-dollar purchase, promotion, and implementation of its exclusively online streaming rights of Astroworld. So the suit accuses Apple's camera stands, and the metal barrier surrounding them of limiting the means of exit for a lot of people by splitting the venue both horizontally and vertically.
I mean, there's probably an argument to be made there if they were like actually causing safety issues, but I don't know enough about it to like speak on it. It seems a little far-fetched, but again, I wasn't there, so I don't know.
And then a second lawsuit representing 125 plaintiffs was filed earlier in the week, asking for $750 million in damages. And then the lawyer for that case expects that all the various lawsuits will be consolidated in one single courtroom in Houston where Astroworld was held and probably resolved in the next 60 days. So...
Well, keep our eyes open on that.
Travy Patty's gonna go fucking broke, boys.
Yeah.
And Travy Patty got removed from Fortnite, of course. Now.
That's the biggest consequence.
Yeah, no more Travy Patty concerts in Fortnite.
Damn.
The Travy Patty skin's gone. All the Travis Scott items are gone.
And here I was hoping to wear my little Sasuke skin and beat his ass, but I guess not.
Yeah, no, you can't go kill Travis Scott in Fortnite now anymore.
I mean, they should just like make the skin free and let everybody fucking kill him.
Kill him in
I'm
Fortnite.
talking about the video game, not that actual person. Calm down. I don't want my words to be misconstrued.
Oh my god, there's gonna be so many like 6-year-olds making like Fortnite roleplay videos on like YouTube with like the Travis Scott skin and like either replicating the concert to be edgy or like killing Travis Scott, like save the day.
You just fucking know that there's gonna be an Fortnite Astroworld.
Yeah, so that's the update on this situation. Yeah, still one of the stupidest things I've ever seen in my life, personally.
It's just mind-boggling. I can't believe it.
But yeah, if these suits go through, I can guarantee you this is the end of Travis Scott's career, buddy.
Oh no,
he does not have that much money in the bank.
No, but he's not going to face any consequences. I'm calling it now. Like, I sincerely doubt anything serious is going to happen to him or his career.
Yeah, well, we'll see. He'll probably manage to find a way to shift it to the event organizers, and they'll go out of business instead.
Yeah.
He'll save his ass for another day. I mean, I don't know. I feel like Drake is definitely going to get out of it, but I don't think Travis Scott is a big enough star to get out of it.
I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I guess in 2 months from now, we'll come back with another update. Whether Travy Patty is done or not.
Travy Patty.
Travy Patty. So yeah, that was our little update corner, I guess, for the episode.
Yeah.
Matt, I know we talked about it a little bit already. Seems like ads really pissed you the fuck off. So
yeah.
I know you wanted to talk about, our pet peeves. So I'm guessing I'm going to pass it over to you because I need to think of what my pet peeves are before I answer.
I hope I don't
go full Joker.
That and just kind of demonstrate how neurotic I am talking about my pet peeves. Because I mean, we all have things that piss us off, right? I can't be the only person who.
No, so it's called the pet peeve. It's just
exactly
annoying small little things that shouldn't annoy you, but they do.
Yeah, they frustrate me to no end. Maybe, and I'm sure any queer person can get behind me on this one, but people who walk slow in front of you.
Oh, yep. I'm a fast walker, so that pisses me off.
Yeah,
yep.
I remember at my old job, I would need to do a lot of running back and forth, and in a short amount of time. And I'm just a naturally speedy person. So anytime I would get stuck behind someone who's walking slowly, I would just and this is my thing. This is my little, I don't even know what to call it. But this is what I do when I get super pissed off and I get frustrated in the moment. And I not, what's the word I'm looking for? Not for any logical sense. I'm frustrated and for no reason. I basically I can't take it out on anyone because that would just make me a huge douchebag. But I just imagine a meteor coming out of the sky and crashing this person into the fucking ground. And every time, it's just so satisfying to me to just be you are curse blatted by a cosmic event, and it kind of simmers me down. So people who walk in front of me really fast, that pisses me off. Or really slow, sorry. Another one is when somebody gets in the shower right before I'm about to shower. I've had roommates do this, and it's really I didn't communicate that I need the shower or anything, but it's just and I don't even know why, because I don't care that somebody was in the shower before me. It's just it's something that frustrates me. And I just get irrationally angry when someone gets in the goes into the bathroom before I'm about to shower. And I said, I didn't communicate that I was going to shower or anything. I just I need my time before I shower, and then when I go into the shower. How do you feel about that one?
I relate with that. I mean, I wouldn't classify it as a pet peeve. It definitely is annoying. I think me more so, it's when somehow, some way, every single person in my life manages to pick the busiest times to ask me to do things. Yeah,
I mean that's
not just family members, but even my friends when they ask me for help with I don't know, school work or help with a project or whatever they're doing on their free time or whatever.
Yeah.
Somehow, some way, it always ends up being when I'm the busiest time. That just pisses me off. It's okay, I'm in the middle of something really busy right now. I cannot do it.
Or when the podcast fucks up and then your co-host asks you to edit, even though you have a really busy week with exams and stuff.
Fuck up! I literally had time to edit it.
No, I know.
I told you,
and I really appreciated it. Basically,
what else?
If you guys watched last week's episode, you know that there was a weird break. We had a a technical difficulty, and I would have had problems editing it out. So I asked
Yeah,
Isaiah to do it, and I knew
Discord
he was busy that
servers
week.
went down.
Yeah, and I felt like shit.
So we had to edit it. But yeah, I have
But
another one too.
he's the greatest. Go ahead.
People that like drive like shit, that irrationally pisses me off. Like, I don't know why. Like, it's just like people that go like that are up your ass when you're already going like 10 over the speed limit, or like 20 over the speed limit, and they're still up your ass trying to get you to go faster, or like passing everyone, or like not using blinkers or whatever. Those people piss me off the most. And I mean, like, that's probably a pet peeve for everyone, but like, the amount of people that don't know how to drive is ridiculous. I don't understand where they learned to drive, but
like, for the betterment and safety of myself and everyone I come in contact with, I don't drive, but literally everybody I know, like, I don't want to say it's to the point of road rage, but like everybody gets fucking frustrated with shitty drivers.
I almost get road rage. Like, literally, whenever I'm on like a 2-lane highway and the car's up my ass doing 20 and he eventually passes me in like the fast lane or in the slow lane or whatever.
Yeah.
Oftentimes I'm in the fast lane because I'm already going 10, 20 over, and they get triggered. So they go in the slow lane to pass me. And then we get to a light. I always guarantee it that they never get that far ahead. And I always pull up beside them, and I'm like, and I wave at them just to show how stupid it is for them to go faster. They're not going to get there any faster than following the speed limit. I pull up right beside and I fucking wave at them. I don't give a shit.
I love you because
like,
you get frustrated so easily.
Oh, man, it annoys me. It pisses me off. It's like, I guess that's kind of road rage and petty, but like, it's just like, come on, man.
Everyone.
Like, you're not going to get there any faster than me. And
yeah.
It's like, there's too much traffic and stuff like that, so I'm literally going to pull up beside you at the next light and wave at you just to show how stupid you are.
Yeah.
So,
something I hate, and it's like totally just on me, another like neurotic little thing. When you put your socks on, but like they're not perfectly straight, and you've got to like rotate it. I just get irrationally angry. I don't know like what my problem is, but like like it's almost to the point of like throwing a childish fit. Like, I'm just, I don't know, kind of neurotic sometimes when it comes to things. Like, I feel like the universe is slighting me, and it's never like on a grand scale. It's literally just like, oh, so you're gonna do this to me? Yeah? Like, I should have fucking expected this. And it's like, Matt, nobody's doing anything to you on purpose. Like, it's your own incompetence, and it's your own like picking fights with the universe for no reason.
Matt still needs to learn how to put his socks on properly.
No.
Matt needs his mommy to come help put his socks and shoes on.
I still don't. I'd never learned how to tie my shoes until the 4th grade.
Oh, don't worry, I'm in the same boat. I was Velcro until like halfway through high school. Like,
I learned how to ride a bike when I was 12.
Okay, that's a bit lame, but
I'm not good with motion. Okay, I think my problem is like why I don't drive and why I don't bike is like
why you don't do any physical exercise.
No, I do physical exercise, but like, okay, no, I don't. But like, my problem with movement is I'm very clumsy. My center of balance is not something I can rely on. So like, I was talking about my old job where I had to like run in between people and run back and forth, right? Like, I always had bruises on my hips and like my knees and like literally everywhere because I'm so fucking clumsy. I can't walk in a straight line without like veering off to the side and bumping into something. So the fact that like, it just goes to show that like I shouldn't be, I mean, I can operate a train and that's fine because it goes in one direction, but like I should not be driving. I shouldn't operate a bicycle or anything that like requires like any kind of movement and speed. I'm a hazard. I'm a tilty hazard.
Well, seems like you're perpetually drunk, Matt. Or,
I mean, you'd think so. Like, if you saw me at my old job, like running back and forth and stuff, like bumping my hips into like counters and things like that. But
oh, by the way, I have a big pet peeve. Another one that I thought of. you can relate, and probably lots of people can relate. It's a very giant pet peeve, like a huge pet peeve. It encompasses lots of different like things that happen and like actions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's the whole action of working in retail. That is my giant pet peeve.
Is that a pet peeve though?
The whole like action of working and participating in retail.
Yeah. I think
as an employee is terrible.
I still think it should be mandatory. Like as soon as you turn 18 that you are in a retail environment for a year. Like you are working in a retail environment. I think every single person should go through that. Because then like you just what?
Instead of military service, you do Walmart service.
Yeah, mandatory year. I did my time at Walmart. No, I just think because like the amount of self-control and respect you learn for like yourself and other people, especially like in a situation where I don't want to say they don't have power, but like they are basically at the beck and call of somebody else. Like retail is so like emasculating. I know that's not the right term to use, but like it's just like everybody should understand how that feels. And I have no fucking patience for people who don't treat not even retail employees, but like service workers or like anybody in the food industry. It's just basic respect at that point.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I
know you make fun of me a lot whenever like we go anywhere, and it's like I put on my customer service face when I'm talking to an employee, but it's just because like I know the shit that they've had to go through, and I don't want to be that person to like cause them more work or like, you know,
Matt, I think they'd appreciate $100 tip over you being nice to them.
I don't know. Some days just like having a client be nice is worth $100 tip. Like it equates to the same thing.
Yeah.
But I always tip too. Come on. I'm no monster.
Yeah. So Matt, do you want to move on to the next topic, I guess?
Yeah, sure.
What did we want to talk about? Did we want to talk about you want to talk about your job, Matt?
Yeah, sure.
Or you want to talk about sci-fi? How much you hate Harry Potter?
Okay. We're getting into Harry Potter. So it recently was announced that the cast of Harry Potter, after like 20 years or something,
yeah,
they're having like a reunion or something, and J.K. Rowling was uninvited.
Or not even invited, yeah.
Or not even invited to this reunion of like the Harry Potter cast, which I think is hilarious, and that's because of her outspoken opinion against trans rights and against like trans issues. She's a cunt, pardon my French. And that's good. It's an aspect of like separating the art from the artist that I can get behind. But to a certain extent, Harry Potter was never that good. Can we be real?
Yeah, I don't like Harry Potter anyway, so I mean,
it was a mediocre kids series at best, and like no wonder it was turned down 12 times before like it was actually picked up. And like I get it. It was a good story for children. It was just too marketable for me. And I hate that I'm going to sound like pretentious and like a douchebag for saying that, but like it's just my opinion that it's not the type of fantasy I can get involved with. Like you and I talked about this. I I prefer the type of fantasy where like I can legitimately feel like immersed into it, and like
You like a whole universe, yeah.
Yeah, I need like for me it's more about world building than it is.
Game of Thrones is a good example then, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, yes and no. Like Game of Thrones did have a beautiful world, but like it was still like obviously about the characters. But like I don't know, growing up as a kid, like I always imagined myself like in the world of Hyrule from like The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time or whatever, right? Like escapism was my like kind of go-to thing. But and I'm not saying that these are bad stories because they don't appeal to my like what I liked or what I like growing up or what I like about stories, but Harry Potter was mediocre and it was very marketable. It was like, oh, which house are you in? Or like, what's your wand made out of? And like, what would your like Dinglehorp dorm look like as a Flengendorf? And it's like,
what kind of Jigglypuff are you?
Yeah, and like, what kind of Jigglypuff are you?
You're a muggle.
I'm a muggle. I'm a snuggle. I'm a fucking troglodyte.
It's just cringe. Know. It's the fandom going overboard and it makes it cringe.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like it was fine at first, but then it like my Twitter handle isn't like sassy gay Slytherin. Like it's it's a fucking children's story. It's not a personality trait.
It's the equivalent of the astrological signs.
Basically,
instead of a Cancer, you're a fucking Jigglypuff or whatever.
You're such a fucking. I don't even care enough to use like legitimate Harry Potter terms.
I don't even know them. I know like Slytherin and like the Jigglypuff ones, whatever they're called. I don't even know.
And I mean, I just want to make it clear that like I hate Harry Potter because I was on Tumblr during its prime. So like.
Before they banned the porn.
If you know how obnoxious people can be when it comes to being a fan of something.
Yeah, it's disgusting. I hate it. I mean, I don't like fantasy and sci-fi to begin with, so.
Like at all?
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. What like a typical person would consider fantasy or sci-fi, yeah. I wouldn't like. And like we talked about this like
personally,
yeah, outside of the podcast, like when it's the main focus, I just hate it. It's disgusting, it's gross, it's annoying, it's boring, it's trash.
So go into that a little more, because like what do you mean by that?
I'll just use the same analogy I fucking
sure.
Sent like when we talked about it.
Yeah.
It's like when the whole plot is like, you know, some alien called Borg trying to like fix his like time machine with like some like crystal meth that he has to go on some other planet to find and like combine with something else to make some. Oh my god, my.
Oh no! Yeah, I still hear you. You're basically describing a Doctor Who episode.
That are evil and it's just I fucking hate when it's like the main focus and it's just annoying.
Yeah,
it just doesn't interest me. It's disgusting. It's lame.
Yeah, we talked about this and we talked about how
I like when it's part of the environment, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I was literally about to say
like Game of Thrones is the perfect example where it's not overboard. It's not in your face. It's not like even though the dragons may be important to a certain extent, it's not like, oh, Daenerys has to go on the dragon to go fight the evil devil demon of hell and get the special sword of like Cthulhu or whatever, the fucking kill it or whatever. Like it wasn't overboard in that sense.
Yeah.
Even though they did have mythical creatures, it wasn't like anything ridiculous, you know.
Yeah. It was very like, I mean, Game of Thrones was just politics and like any kind of magic or like spectacle that happened was just like a means to an end. It was like a tool. It was never the central focus of.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. like at the, I don't know, when Daenerys first got those eggs, like, yeah, a big arc. I mean, her whole story of the show was literally just like her raising the dragons, but also it was about her like conquest, right? So
yeah, exactly.
yeah,
And that's why I don't like stuff like Star Wars and Star Trek, because that's the main focus of both shows, and
Yeah.
it's just boring out. I've never liked them at all.
that's fine. I mean, it feels like you're more in tune with like stories about like people interacting as opposed to like people interacting with environments or like people interacting with things, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I guess.
I'm just trying to like take a step back and get like a broader view of it.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it strictly has to do with like fantasy and sci-fi, because there's tons of movies or in shows where like people interact with like things and objects. Like the example I always use is like the Da Vinci Code in the series. In that series, I really like those movies, and that's all about like solving the puzzles and riddles to figure out who the murderer was, and the story of like, I forget the whole plot, but like the history of certain like historical items.
When you said like the Da Vinci Code, my brain was immediately like, oh yeah, was that the movie where they tried to steal the Declaration of Independence? Whoa, no, it's not. Which is funny because I've seen the Da Vinci Code, and like I know that's not what it was about.
Yeah, so it's like a fine line, I guess, between both, and I think there's a reason why I like this. Like, I find like dystopia settings, I'll always like more than normal fantasy or sci-fi, because at least they're somewhat grounded in reality. Like oftentimes dystopian movies are always like on Earth, right?
Yeah.
And like sometimes there's mythical creatures, sometimes it's aliens, sometimes it's like some weird sci-fi technology, but at least it's like kind of grounded. And you know, even though the main focus might be like that, you know, aliens took over Earth or whatever, it's still, I don't know, it's
still like a very human story.
Yeah, I guess it's not like over the top stupidity, I find, with like spells and magic and crap like that.
Well, like I said about Game of Thrones, where it's like whatever happens in a dystopian story, it's like a narrative tool as opposed to the narrative focus. Like it's a means to an end, or like it's there to enhance the story but not be the main focus of it. Like I don't know, maybe in like a zombie story, the focus is like finding shelter or like finding a cure, but like when it comes to zombie stories, it's always about the human side of things, and it's about like human reactions and humans like struggling to survive, and like that's just relatable in a story, right?
Yeah, exactly. I guess that's kind of what I guess that's the fine line between both that make me like or dislike fantasy shows.
That's fair. That's just like what you're into.
Yeah, exactly. We're about to hit the 1 hour mark, so we should move over to the viewer question now, Matt.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, for those who want to ask questions, you can ask them away in the YouTube comments. On Spotify, if you go in the episode description, there should be a little place to put your question. We also have a poll every week that I just randomly make up a question. Last week it was, are NFTs stupid, and everyone said yes, so thank you for giving your right opinion on this.
That was a trick. We tricked you.
Yeah.
There's only one right answer.
Yeah, it's not a subjective question at all. But yeah, and then also on social media, you can ask us on our Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Just ask it whatever, put it somewhere, we'll find it, and we'll add it to our little stockpile of questions. But we have a question here today, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
We're finally getting into a bit of over the top stupidity, but we love these questions. We love these. So ask more questions like this, please. We'll mix them in with the actual more serious questions too sometimes, because we don't want to just make it stupid all the time.
Yeah.
But Matt, I know you're not that big of a Souls guy, a big Dark Souls fan. And I mean, I've played a few here and there. I'm not that big, and I'm not addicted to the game like some people are. But anyways, this question is: you get the opportunity to receive some very exquisite, some very good sloppy toppy from one Bloodborne boss of your choosing. Wish indescribable cosmic horror is your ideal hunter's a wet dream to get some sloppy Joe toppy.
I want
Get that head.
to
Who do you want to
double check before to make sure that like
Who do you want to get head from,
they
Matt?
are who I think they are. But
And
like,
for people who don't know who Bloodborne is, it's basically like this mythical game where the creatures are absolutely disgusting and vile and horrible. Like, yeah. So that's the trick question right there, is us trying to pick who we want to get sloppy from. So
I want some sloppy toppy from Amygdala. It's like the one with the weird ass fucking head that like clings to the side of buildings.
I'm trying to write
like tentacles.
Bloodborne amygdala.
Amygdala, like the part of the brain.
Oh, amygdala. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You want sloppy from? Oh yeah, that was actually one of my choices. Actually. Yeah.
Mainly because I'm pretty sure this is one of the ones where like if you look at it, your like insanity gauge goes up. So like the head game's strong.
You make you go insane, Matt. That sloppy toppy makes you go nuts.
Hell yeah, that's the best sloppy toppy.
So for me, I have a few that I have to throw in here because I couldn't just pick one. The first one, and it's representative of the choices that I've made in life. I would love sloppy toppy from the Living Failures. They don't look that disgusting. They're just basically fat naked men with weird heads.
There's like the alien guys, right, with like the long arms.
Yeah, the long arms. So sloppy toppy from Living Failures. Probably not the first time I've gotten sloppy from. Anyways, the second one, just because I love the name and it's very, very apt and adequate for getting sloppy toppy, is from the Brain Sucker.
Oh, of course.
Because they're given head, so brain. They're given brain.
Good brain.
They're given that good brain suck. That was my second choice. And then my third choice, I need to find it on this stupid list. There's so many. That was the one choice, but I don't think it's that one. Come on, find it, please, please, please. I'm trying to find it. It's not working. Where is it?
I mean, it would be an honor to get sloppy from literally anything in the Bloodborne series. Let's be honest.
Oh, Rom. There you go. Rom, vacuous. Vacuous. Oh, that's a C. Okay, that was a G. The vacuous spider. There's that neat little hole right there. Big round hole.
I don't like that, but
that triggers your tryptophobia, man.
I mean, have you seen Amygdala's head?
Yeah, basically full of holes as well. Honorable mention goes to Abrieta's, daughter of the cosmos. Also that big pig.
The big pig!
Man-eater boar.
I forgot about the big pig.
And for those who are completely no homo, like the typical frat boys that, are,
you're a coward?
Yeah, coward, and you don't want any sloppy toppy from a Bloodborne boss, like any cosmic horror. I mean, you're missing out, but you can go Mikodash, host of the Nightmare. He has a giant cage on his head, so he's not even going to be able to give it to you.
Exactly. They actively said no sloppy for you.
No sloppy for you.
That's actually why they put the cage on his head. It's because he's a dick-sucking fiend, and they have to stop him.
In the lore, he was the one that gave the best sloppy toppy, so they had to put a cage under his head to get the other ones a chance.
Listen, you're driving everyone insane with your sloppy. You have to stop to it. I'm pretty sure that's like the whole B plot of Bloodborne, actually.
The head was so good that you woke up in this like cosmic horror world.
Exactly.
The sleep paralysis demon gave you too much
Obviously, you've
head.
Never had head from me before.
Well, that's a bit homo, Matt.
Oh, wait, you did say the Living Failures. Never mind.
Ba-dum-ching. Yeah. So those are my choices: Living Failures, and Brainsucker are my first two choices, just because the jokes that you can make with them.
I like Amygdala. I like to go crazy, get stupid, get crazy. And then isn't there one that's like the moon spirit or something? I know that's spoilers if you haven't played the
Moon
game.
Spirit. Moon Spirit Bloodborne.
Yeah.
Moon Presence.
Moon Presence. That's it.
Oh man, looks like has like the face of a fish.
It looks like
Ice Smash.
It looks like Shadow the Hedgehog. It's not Ice Smash.
Just because the fucking like tentacles that are like red black on the back.
Yeah.
Fucking stupid.
I like this question. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. We want more questions like this. Just don't ask us for who we would pick for Sloppy Toppy from anyone underage, please. If they're underage characters, you will not answer the question, please.
Why do we even have to say that?
Because I know someone's gonna probably ask a question like, what fucking like Dora character you'd smash or whatever. Yeah, what Teletubby you'd smash or shit like that. Which Rugrat you'd want to have sex with or something. I don't know.
It's fucked up.
But yes, anyways, that's our cosmic horror that we'd want Sloppy Toppy for. Thank you for the question, viewer. Yeah. So I think we're gonna wrap up here. Again, if you want to ask more questions, you can put them in the comments on Spotify or on social media, and we'll find it. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Mildly Ignorant Podcast. You can listen to us on Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Stitcher, Radiocast, Radio Friendly, Overcast, Breaker. You name it, run it. We're also on YouTube. YouTube, please go subscribe. Please, please, please.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah, we're real YouTubers now. But yeah, we obviously the majority of you do listen on audio platforms because it's just easier to listen to there than on YouTube. But please go over to the YouTube page, drop a little subscriber, a little subscribe, because that helps boost that page up for everyone else to see. Yeah. And of course, you can follow us on social media. We're at the Mildly Ignorant Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram if you haven't done so already.
Yay.
So yeah, that's it for today. Thank you again for listening, and we'll see you all next week for Big Unlucky 13, Matt.
Dun, 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 dun.
Maybe our whole podcast recording's going to get deleted somehow, some way.
Don't say that. Knowing our luck.
Knowing our luck, we're going to wipe our whole fucking file off the computer, and then we're going to like re-tape and pretend like we never did a second take
we're
or whatever.
We're going to have to start from episode 1.
Yeah. Restart. Okay.
All right.
Well, adios.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.